We're recording now.
Poop and pee.
Poop and pee.
Poop and pee. Poop and pee.
Cool. All right. So we're here with Adam from Cobra Burger in Churchill. And first things first, Adam, how you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah?
I ate a mediocre Reuben just now, and it was mediocre.
So I just want to kind of start from the beginning. Where does cooking begin for you?
The kitchen.
Oh, good start.
You want me looking at the camera when I talk, or looking at you?
Yeah. Whatever feels right.
That doesn't feel right. Where does cooking begin? Like, where did I start?
Yeah.
I started as a dishwasher at about, well, that's not exactly true. I had a couple fast food jobs as a teenager, you know, 15, 16. I did Taco Bell and I did Burger King, and I was a busboy at this cafeteria. It was all like 70-plus-year-old folks. It sucked, but I was getting a paycheck at the time, and then I quit because somebody shit up a wall, and they asked me to clean it, and I was like, no, absolutely not. So I left. So there was that. When I actually started cooking, I was 18, and I got a dishwashing job at a place called Paccia in Dayton, Ohio. Long gone. And yeah, I came on as a dishwasher. Did a good job. The chef liked me, and eventually he was like, "Hey, start prepping this." I mean, very dishy stuff like peel these potatoes, blah blah blah. I was pretty good at that, and so just kind of, eventually moved me on to all prep shifts, and then there was an opening on the line, so I started off as a garde manger. It was salads and that shit, and yeah, worked there. Kind of worked my way through that line, got promoted, moved on to the wood-fired oven, saute, grill, and somewhere in there, I realized, one, that I didn't want to go to college anymore, so I dropped out.
Fair.
I wanted to play in bands and was really digging the line cook lifestyle at that point. Lots of drugs. With all of that, I found that I was actually really enjoying cooking. And, I mean, I'd cooked with my grandma as a kid and stuff like that, and so I always had, an inclination towards it. But this was where I started going, shit. He let me run my first special. I don't even know what it was, but I remember doing it. So just kind of that was the initial thing. And then I just kept cooking.
Who or what have been some of your biggest food influences?
Well, Chef Keith. That was the first chef I worked under at Paccia. Chef Darren. Other dude that was still in Ohio. I worked for him at a place called Coco's and left there really feeling like I knew how to cook. I didn't. Probably the biggest would be Bo Culpepper. That's his name. I met him out in Portland, Oregon, and worked with him at a place called Lincoln Restaurant. He's now gone too. Bo was the chef de cuisine. And he hired me after I moved there. Again, I thought I knew what I was doing. Very quickly showed me that I did not. But he was very just instrumental. It was him that really took me from being I was an okay line cook, and he made me a very good cook. And then, of course, Bourdain. You can't be a scumbag line cook and not love Bourdain. That's just, it's standard.
Yeah.
But it fucks celebrity chefs, so that's the only one I'm going to mention is Bourdain. And then, yeah, when I went into butchery, Ethan Bazane was a guy that I first started learning butchery from, also out in Portland. And then his predecessor was Spencer Adams, another guy that I learned a lot from. Those are probably the big ones.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh. Were there any defining moments in this journey that made you realize that you were onto something?
Yeah. First time we sold out, and then sold out again, and then sold out again, and it was like, all right, people like this. Because when we first started as a pop-up, there was the one burger. It was the Cobra Burger. That's what you got. Yeah. And we served pickled French fries, and that was the only other thing you could get. No substitutions. It just was what it was. Yeah. And I was very confident going into it. I'm like, this is going to be a dope burger because this is what should be on a burger. But yeah, those first couple of times we would pop up, and then we would just sell out. Pop up, and then we would sell out. It's like, maybe we do have something here. And rode that wave for a minute. And then probably the next moment was after we fucking terrified, but opened up the doors here for the first time, opened up the burger hole here for the first time, and line around the block. Yeah. That was another big moment where I was like, damn.
Onto something.
Yeah. It kept happening. That's good.
Yeah. No, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
That's a good sign. From pop-up to brick and mortar, what was that journey like?
Well, what sucked. It was during the pandemic. So we actually had, pre-pandemic, we had plans to open a brick and mortar of sorts. There was the Vale Brewing, where we did the large majority of our pop-ups. They were opening a dining hall. They were pairing up with this company called Neighborhood Restaurant Group from DC. I don't know how familiar you are with DC, but there's like Iron Gate is them, Red Apron Butcher, who I actually worked for while I was in DC. There's Vermilion, which is down in Old Town Alexandria. Anyways, they're a restaurant group in the DC area. They were partnering up with them. They were going to open a dining hall in Scott's Addition, maybe where the new location is. I'm not 100% sure exactly where it was going.
Yeah.
And we were kind of slated to go in there. And when I tell you that the day that they said lockdown, COVID's real, we're gonna for a couple of weeks, was the day we were supposed to sign our contract. We didn't.
Oh,
yeah. And I mean, they wound up canceling the project anyways because the entire world changed at that point.
Yep.
So we kept doing. I don't know if you've ever seen me wear the T-shirt that says Cobra Burger 2020. It's a cobra wrapped around a gas mask, and on the back it says "Cook it your damn self." Because at the time we owned the butcher shop, so we were doing basically like Cobra Burger care packages that you could pick up. So it had the Cobra pickles and the pickled onions and sauce and burger patties and or balls because you're supposed to smash them. And yeah, you could just come by and pick it up, and that's what we did for 2020 during lockdown. And then as soon as we were able, we didn't even get back to doing like proper pop-ups. We did a residency over at Hatch. At their actual commissary kitchen, they had a little cafe. Couldn't tell you if it's still there. And we took that over on the weekends, and it was all order online, show up in a mask. We kept everybody distanced. And we did that for a little while.
Yep.
But honestly, at that point, we had closed the butcher shop. We just weren't able to keep it open during lockdown. We couldn't. I didn't know if we were going to actually turn Cobra. It was just something to do. Nobody was working. Yeah. The world was crazy, and we needed something to do on the weekends. And to help pay Maddie, because he was still with me there, and Isabel. Have you met Isabel?
I don't know.
She worked for me at the butcher shop. She was one of the original OG crew here. She's got like her own little catering thing she's doing now. But anyways, it was just something to do at the time. And then Caleb Schreiber and his wife Michelle, they own this building. This used to be Dutch & Company, a legendary Richmond restaurant. It was here for like 8 years. Truly one of the best restaurants in the city. It was killer. And they owned the building, and Caleb liked what we were doing. He had our stuff. He enjoyed our social media presence. We can get into that in a little bit.
Oh, we will.
He hit me up, and he was like, hey, I don't plan on reopening Dutch. He's like, it's been 8 years, it was a good run. I have no interest in trying to keep this open, doing just takeout food in boxes. It wasn't that kind of place. Do you guys want to open Cobra Burger? And then it was like, shit, I guess. We did this, on no budget. A lot of favors. Yeah. And yeah, but we did it.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're all personality when it comes to vibes and brand. How does that play a role in menus and your approach to recipes?
First of all, thank you. Yeah, the brand is it's just very clear in my brain. Yeah. It developed over time, definitely, and got to where it is, now. We got rid of our Instagram. You could tell, if you read our posts, it didn't, you can hear me in it, but it was definitely like the voice of Cobra Burger. It wasn't, it became its own thing. And from there, when it comes to recipes and stuff, it was just that. It was applying that goofiness to what we're making. And even though, maybe something is goofy and silly, obviously still making it delicious, because that's the core of it. Locally sourced stuff, everything made from scratch, making sure it's absolutely delicious. So even when you're doing something kind of silly, it works. And yeah, it just, I think it comes through the most, that the personality of Cobra and what name stuff. Yes. So there's some very stupid names on the menu, and I enjoy them. Yeah. I really like to make it hard for people to pronounce stuff. Because it makes me laugh. And I've told you this when you worked here. I said the only rule when I put something on the menu is it has to make me laugh. Well, as far as names, it's also got to taste good, but naming stuff. And yeah, I think that's definitely where it comes through. Is in that, I don't know, man. It's the spirit of Cobra. Yeah, that's fair. I get that. Does that answer that question? It does. It does. Right, that answers that. You're a transplant, much like myself. How has Richmond influenced you and Cobra Burger's growth and identity? Well, good question. Well, a lot like I was just saying, where Cobra just kind of became its own thing. It developed its own personality. That's pretty heavily influenced by Richmond.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons Cobra aside, one of the things that had me feeling so at home here so quickly was that Richmond vibe. You know, it's a little gritty.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little dirty. I mean that with all the love in the world, but there is like a true like lifeblood in this city.
Yeah.
And it's very, I would say, creatively driven.
Yeah.
I guess meaning that like whether it be food or music or art, I mean it's here.
Yeah.
And in its very own Richmond way.
Mm-hmm.
It's that like, I don't know, there's just something special about it. It definitely had an influence because, you know, this same concept, I don't think I could have gotten off the ground if I were somewhere like DC, where I was before this. You know, maybe I could have pulled it off somewhere like, I mean, probably like Portland or LA, but there I feel like it's easy to get lost in that everything that's going on there.
Yeah.
I think Richmond is like just the right size, has just the right, of like I said, that lifeblood and that love for like counterculture.
Yeah.
It was perfect. And having that freedom because of the city that Richmond is absolutely like played that role in being able to go, well, I think we could do this. I think we can say fuck on the menu here. I think people will be cool with that.
Yeah.
And, you know, we didn't know that. It turns out they are.
Yeah.
Mostly. Some people aren't.
Yeah.
And they can go fuck themselves.
Have there been any customer or community moments that reaffirmed why you're doing that?
A ton. I wish I could name more names, especially when it comes to, we'll start with customers. I mean, still to this day, at least weekly, now I'm not working like front of house as much as I used to, so I'm not having as much interaction these days. But Devin can probably attest to this. The amount of times that's the best burger I've ever had in my life. What are you guys doing? What's this? Why does this beef, you know, taste the way it does? And et cetera, all the time. Had a dude at one point, and this was right around when we first opened. We were his first meal after completing chemo, and he came in and told us about it. Like, there have been moments like that over and over again. It's awesome. It's a very good feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even though, yes, I'm very good at turning it on in customer service mode, I love those moments when people feel that strongly about what we're doing. Community-wise, man, it's awesome. I didn't anticipate being involved in the community the way we have been at quite a few points.
Yeah.
We're obviously very locally left in this restaurant. It all started actually with the very first thing we did shortly after we opened. We wound up raising funds for, it was like Latin immigrants of Virginia or something. I'd have to look at the exact name of the group. But we found out that a place had opened and was basically a front for Herbalife supplements. They were putting them in all the stuff, and they didn't tell anybody this. It was all pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
And it blew up on Richmond social media and all this kind of stuff. Fuck it, they're closed. It was called Ever Better.
Okay.
It was like a smoothie shop. It was down on the Fan.
Okay.
But really what it was a way for these kind of strange folks, like Christian something folks, to funnel their weird MLM thing. And they were putting all these Herbalife supplements, which I think are also dangerous. I don't think they're very, at the very least, not FDA approved. Not that matters anymore.
No.
But it was shitty. They were, basically lying to customers and being just real shady about stuff. So I was like, what if we did a thing and we called it Ever Butter, and we took all the sales from the Big Baby Butter Burger for that day and raised money to donate to, actually, Isabel, who I mentioned, found the charity. Because Herbalife disproportionately targets Latin American community. It's like, this is a quick, easy way to make money. You're going to be able to do all this kind of stuff, then they end up losing their ass. So anyway, we did this thing. Instead of, they were called Ever Better and we were called Ever Butter. And it was the first thing also that we put up that was super, throwing shade on social media. And man, when I tell you that shit popped off, you probably still find the Reddit post about it. I didn't think anybody would actually pay attention to what we're doing. It was a very cool, eye-opening moment, because it was like, oh, we can do this to help raise some money for things here and there. We've done several fundraisers like that since. One of my favorites, we did a raffle, and it started with just a couple people that I knew that were also in the industry. I was like, yo, what would you think about donating a gift card to this? We were raising funds for Seven Hills Family Medicine, which is an awesome place. I posted about it, and I was like, hey, I've got some of these things. We're going to end up getting a raffle together. I did this, and next thing you know, I wound up having 20 or more other local businesses reach out wanting to donate. So then we wound up with 2 prize packages, and we raised thousands. It's the most we've ever raised, thousands of dollars for Seven Hills Family Medicine doing it. It was all the bigger restaurants in town that I know I get on their nerves sometimes, but they were still this is dope. Let's we'll donate a gift card. We'll donate a gift card, and it was crazy.
Yeah,
it was awesome. So yeah.
Cobra Burger doesn't shy away from sharing your opinion on current events, on issues at home and abroad. Why is it important for you to use your platform to speak your mind?
I think everybody should. If you're given a platform, then I think you have an obligation to speak out for things. Hey, look, if somebody can put a Christian fish on the front of their building or fly an American flag, why can't I also voice my distaste with certain things?
Totally fair.
And I think that, once you get enough of a platform, it is important. Oh, God, we've been called everything from performative, virtue signaling. That's fine. Go fuck yourself. To me, it is just that we are privileged enough to have the audience that we have, to be in the position that we are in. And for me, I need it to be also a loudspeaker for, these are the way we feel about things. Because a lot of it is wanting to, just be a safe space for people to come. There are a lot of marginalized people that have to basically wear their masks when they go into certain places and do all this, but here you don't have to. You're in a place where we're very clear about how we feel about things, and you're welcome to be there. Or you're very unwelcome. And I like that too. Fuck off if you don't like what we're doing. Leave. I don't want you here. I don't care if you're not going to support my business.
I respect the shit out of that.
Well, thank you.
Cobra's Instagram, rest in peace, is a mix of humor, real talk, and of course the occasional burger pic. How do you approach social media and messaging as a business?
Transparency, personality, and shit talking.
Yeah. Lots of shit talking. Yeah,
it was that being genuine, even though, again, I know I mentioned before talking about there's a personality that kind of is Cobra that's not exactly me. It's obviously still very much a part of me. That said, even using the Cobra Burger sort of personality and Cobra speak that we would use in our captions and stuff, the goal was very much still to be very clear and transparent about whether it be our food sourcing, our beliefs on things, or talk shit. Because usually, not always, but usually, when you get a shitty review or whatever else, rarely is it about something with the food. Very often it's about they don't like the environment, they don't like that we wouldn't accommodate whatever request that they had, even though it says no substitutions. Like everywhere, I know I keep breaking the third wall, I'm having a real totally Ryan Reynolds time right now.
It's cool with me.
Okay. So just being transparent about, all of those things. Personality, again, is that stupid, goofy, cringy, intentionally, melting all those things together. It worked, and I don't understand why. I think it just resonates with people. Because it's not taking ourselves too seriously, while also often talking about very serious things. But being able to poke fun at ourselves and being able to say, well, actually, you know what? We did fuck up on that one. Sorry. And hopefully give people a good chuckle, too.
You're a big fan of spreading the love and collaborating with local causes and businesses. How do you land on the ones that you support?
A lot of times it's just actual personal connections I've made. Well, industry connections frequently, but meeting somebody, being like, you're cool. You do this thing? That's also cool. What if we did something together? That's literally as deep as it goes often.
Yeah.
But I do want it to be with people that I actually fuck with.
Yeah.
Not... the one exception, and I do very much fuck with Duke's Mayo, but they're a larger brand, and that just kind of developed. I think they liked what we were doing, and obviously saw an opportunity there to, they were they were focusing on their social media and kind of pushing this new vibe for them.
Yeah, okay.
Around the time we were starting to pop up and all that, and then we got to be homies with their social media manager, and so that developed. Yeah. Okay. But them being a bigger brand, it was just for us. It was a no-brainer. It was well, we love Duke's Mayo, so why wouldn't we do that? Those guys aside, it's all vibes, man. Yeah. Are you cool? Do I like what you're doing? Cool. Let's do something. Whether that be toys that we've done. We had our own glass bowls, meaning pipes, made at one point. We sold them as appetizers. That was my buddy Steven. He made those for us. Or beer. We've got a new super secret beer thing happening. I don't know when this is coming out, but we'll have a new Cobra collab beer soon. All kinds of stuff. Pop-ups, just hosting pop-ups and doing that. And that's, it's very often it's just you're cool, and I like what you're doing, so use the space or whatever.
Hell yeah. What's your favorite item to ever grace the Cobra menu?
Other than Fernet. If you mean something that I made.
Yes.
Shit. That's a tough one. The Ohio is definitely up there. Yeah. Even though, historically, of our burgers that have never come off the menu, it is the least selling. I keep it on because I love it. So the Ohio is definitely up there. One that, unfortunately, never really got a fair shake because it turns out nobody wanted breakfast from us. was the blueberry brekkie baby and
Yeah.
hash browns
Yeah.
that we made. We made our hash brown patties.
Yeah.
They were delicious.
That sounds incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, of course, the Cobra Burger itself. Come on, like
Naturally.
that is it's a great solid burger. That Ohio man, it's just special to me. Now the place that gave me the inspiration for that, they're closing down. It was like a Big Boy.
Yeah.
So this was Frisch's Big Boy, which was what was in Ohio. There was like Bob's Big Boy in other places.
Yeah.
And so it was like a franchise thing, but the Frisch's Big Boys are closing down. And that tartar sauce on a burger was their thing.
Oh, shit.
So we'll keep the tradition alive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If money was no factor, what would your dream joint be?
Big, but only because I would want it to be like burger, bar like we do here, or seating, arcade, and venue. And I've actually looked at this, doing this, but money is an object. So
Yeah.
it's not any time in the near future, but I would love to have something like that. Have shows, art shows, that kind of thing. Just have like a section of it that's a big warehouse type situation, a sick ass arcade with just like all old school arcade games, and then the rest of it be Cobra Burger. Big old sound system to play obnoxious metal for everybody. That would be so sick.
Hell yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
And hopefully be able to use it also as like a community space for anything.
Events.
Yeah, any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If money were an object, that's what I would love to do. If there are any investors out there, I need money. Thank you.
At home, what are some of your favorite meals to make?
Right off the top of my head, sausage could be whatever. Ideally, we're going somewhere like the farmer's market and getting something nice, be like an Italian sausage or whatever like that. But sausage links, grits, cannellini beans that I cook down with a bunch of black pepper and bay leaves, wilted spinach. Super simple, takes no time at all, fills you up. I fucking love making that. Super simple and great. I love that. We make it. It's like a staple in our diet. Every other week, I would say we're probably eating that. Bucking well-cooked pork chop, thick, 1.5-incher. Nice big fat cap on it. Oh, you can pair that with just about anything. Lately, Allison requests I do Hoppin' Johns. So we'll do a pork chop and then, do you know Hoppin' Johns?
No.
Black-eyed pea dish. You toast your rice. It's like a southern thing. Cook your black beans, often with like collard greens or kale, onion, celery, bell pepper, fresh herbs, apple cider vinegar, some stock in there. I usually put some bacon in that too. Let all that cook down. Use some of that cooking liquid to cook your rice in. Toasted rice. You got your rice, you got your Hoppin' Johns, and you got a big fat pork chop on the top. Buck. Braised meatballs.
Okay.
And typically with those, I'll do those. I'm a big fan of like corn in all of its forms. So braised meatballs, you do a soft polenta, like a cheesy soft polenta, usually with some Parmesan. And then braise the meatballs in chicken stock with Calabrian chilies, some lacinato kale, a bunch of herbs and all that. Nice Castelvetrano olives over the top when you're done. Grate a little bit more of that parm on top.
That sounds banging. Actually.
Pretty good. Those are some of the things I like to cook at home. Also, just spam.
Spam?
It doesn't always have to be a fucking spam burger night with some mac and cheese, Velveeta shells and cheese. Let's fucking go.
What's your favorite way to unwind after a busy day or week?
Coming back to it, Fernet. No, I'm kidding. I do love a Fernet at the end of my shift.
Yeah.
Or 2, or 3, or 6. Outside of that, like when I'm home, bit of a cereal hobbyist. I've got snakes, and I've got cactus, and I do pottery, although I haven't in a very long time, unfortunately. Been a little bit too busy here. Any number of those things, when I get the time to sit down and like play with one of my hobbies, is very, very nice. Just something very removed from this space.
Yeah.
Even though I love this place, you need those moments that are completely removed. You know, if it's like after an evening of work, my favorite thing, go home, take a shower, sweatpants, couch, Frank. Frank's the cat. Frank is the cat.
We'll pop an image or a video of
Please
Frank
do,
up. This
yeah.
actually over this, just Frank.
Unofficial Cobra Burger mascot. It's been on a t-shirt. Yeah, after a shift, that's all I want.
Yeah.
Just get home and do that. Chill
So
out.
fair.
Maybe read a book. Maybe just throw something on TV and hang out with Allison.
Sounds cozy. What do you love most about Richmond?
I touch back to something I said earlier. It's that love of counterculture, that sort of lifeblood that is Richmond. It's palpable.
Yeah.
And I know, of course, there's the folks that have lived here all their lives and they're jaded, or there's all that. You get that anywhere. I've lived in a few different cities, and there's always that element that's going to feel that way. It really does exist here. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't. You know?
Yeah.
Along with quite a few other businesses that I love in town. I don't think they would. Sure, they could exist other places, but they just make sense here.
Yeah.
And it's because of that. The sense of community in Richmond, whether that be we're talking the service industry or any of it, it's all kind of connected. And Richmond fucks with Richmond, and I love that.
Yeah.
They support a small business. They love that community.
Yeah. Last question.
Okay.
Top spots you want to give a little love to?
Top spots I want to give a little love to. Well, obviously we're going to do Nightcrawler. They're popping up here, but they're awesome. They're some Kanubi.
Yeah.
They're a cocktail pop-up. They're killing it. They're doing a very good job. Quam's Chicken Project. We love Quam. We interviewed him. He's killing it. I get another pop-up. Actual brick and mortar restaurants off the top of my head. Il Cheeto. They'll never see this, I don't think. They might. They're fucking sick.
Yeah.
It's like some of the best Mexican food you can get in the city. Devin knows. It's delicious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know you're in for a treat when the menu is not in English.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
We love horn dogs. That's our buddy Bomar. They absolutely kill it. I love Alewife and always will. Alewife is easily one of the best spots in the city. Adara, awesome. Afterglow, best coffee in the city.
Real good coffee.
Everybody there is real attractive. Toilair.
Yeah.
Not food, obviously.
Yeah.
We love Toilair.
They're sick.
Absolutely excellent.
Love them.
Shelf Life Books. Love Shelf Life Books.
Yeah.
Rest in Pieces. Absolutely fucking love that whole crew. I know I could just keep going. Second Bottle, directly across the street. If you buy a bottle of wine there and come here to drink it, there is no corkage fee. If you buy a bottle at Kroger and bring it here, I'm going to charge you $30 fucking. Fucking 8.5, Rest in Peace. I'm going to leave it there. There's more.
Yeah. There's always more.
Always more. Oh, no, wait. Scotch Shawarma. Jesus Christ, I can't believe I didn't say Scotch Shawarma. That shit fucks. That's easily one of the best restaurants in the city. I don't give a shit. They're awesome.
Whoa, all right.
Chicken Fiesta. I think that's it.
Well, cool. Well, thank you, Adam. Thank you so much. That's all I got for you.
Cool.
I appreciate you doing this for me and or with me. I don't know. It was cool.
Yeah, man. Can I just one thing for the camera?
Absolutely.
Nobody's coming to save you. Not Democrats, not Republicans. You got to figure it out for yourself. Get involved with your community. Get to know your neighbors. Buy a gun. Learn how to use it. It's going to get real scary. Take care of each other.
Well said. Well said.
Thank you.
All right.